All right, guys, we're back for round seven's review for 2023 Supercoach. So, 2,380, pretty good score, but even bigger than that, look at the rank jump 2,500 exactly on the year. Um, Honestly, did not think this was going to happen. Considering where we were, I think it was like in the 30,000s or something like that. So, yeah, this is a huge jump. If I could end the season kind of like around here, like maybe up 500 spots, but yeah, yeah, I'd be pretty happy with that considering I thought this team was like done for, to be honest. So yeah, it shows that if you're smart with trades, you can always bring yourself out of a bad team. So we'll get into it. You saw 12,500,000 for the team value. I think that's actually pretty big this week, and it's why I've been able to catch up because I've been working on that team value. So in the defense, we'll go through it quickly. Dawson was excellent versus the Pies. What a game that was. Dacos was both tagged and hurt. I think he had a bit of a injury to the leg, maybe his quad or corky, something like that. Um, yeah, so finally had his down game. Like when you look at this guy's recent games, this is the lowest he scored since preseason, right? So 109 is his current lowest of the season. So 72, you absolutely take it. Considering he's given you captaincy scores and everything like that, it's completely fine. And he was tagged, right? Like it wasn't just didn't get near or anything. Stewart 123, he was good as well. I'm surprised he got so high considering it took I want to say about like the whole first quarter for them to actually have a kick in, because Geelong would just dominate Essendon at the beginning. So yeah, not a bad score from him. Shows that he can still score in these blowout games, which was kind of the question mark with him. Like, are Geelong going to be too good that them blowing out teams he's got to kill his score? Turns out it's not the case, so that's pretty good. Siebel, he was alright, still hit the ton. That's what you expect from him. Yeah, North, it's tough down there. Like there was a bit of optimism going into the season, but reality's hit them that they've still got the same list they did last year, right? So Clarko coming in, yeah, he's a good coach and you can see improvements, but when you're playing with the same guys, there's not too much you can do. If a bad player's there, it's just he's a bad player. You can't really fix that too much. Chase Jones was massive, so this is probably the reason why I jumped up so high in rank. Because before this, it wasn't. None of the scores that were big were kind of like outliers or anything like that, apart from the captaincy, but we'll get into that. Yeah, so this was massive. So Adelaide Oval is obviously very good for him. It's where the whole game plan is set around, playing at home. His 116 was also at Adelaide. 93, which was the first full game in this role, also at Adelaide. So you are just kind of picking him for the home games, which, yeah, um, at least you know how many of those you get in a year. So yeah, it's pretty good. Constable obviously didn't play. Still can't get a spot for Gold Coast just because there's no injuries happening. And like when Gold Coast is having injuries, like Tukamilla, he's a midfielder. You can't bring Constable in for him. It would have to be someone in the back line. And there just hasn't been one yet. Eventually, I think there will be. But in the meantime, he gives like a good player that you can use to always make sure you have the best score available at D6. So, yeah, it's useful. Even if it sucks for cash gen. Stocker was good. So, yeah, it might be time to move on from him. So, break even of 66. He's only averaging 71. It probably is time to move on. He's made some good cash. He's been good for the team. Someone that's good for this D6 role. But with guys like Chincotta and stuff coming up, I think it's time to move on. And Seamus Mitchell, did he get subbed? Yeah, he got subbed out. So Sam Mitchell played with the other S Mitchell and screwed up his score. So is what it is. Still makes money though. Still has a break even -19. So it is fine. Who they play this week? Freo. Freo should be fine for him, to be honest. So should be fine. Saying that, Freo have to have their bounce back game. So, or like not bounce back, like bounce in game. Like their season's barely started and they're already like written off. So, I don't know. That could be a big game for Freo at home as well at Optus. Yeah, that actually should be a good game. Well, like it's gonna suck. Let's be honest. The skill is gonna suck, but it's gonna be a big game for both teams. So that's what I like seeing. Bont was great in his 200th. Wasn't as good as last week, but that's because last week was like a crazy game. So this is probably what you expect from him. Around the 120s, 115 to 120 should be his average for the year. And you look at his run, GWS, they used to be the terror to score against. I mean, still fifth. That's not terrible. But it is kind of a rivalry game for the Dogs, so I expect Bont to show up for it. Carlton, not as tough to score against as last year. Adelaide do give up some big scores. It's just they kind of score bigger, so they hog all the points. Gold Coast, pretty easy to score against. Geelong's going to be a tough one, but it is at Marvel, so Bont does do better at Marvel, I've noticed. Port's a tough one, but also at Marvel. North should be a 200 game on the cards. Same with Freo, probably same with Collingwood as well. So yeah, Bont has a chance to end the season between M1, M3, somewhere between there. I think right now he is actually over Oliver because Oliver had a bad game. Laird. So Laird was a big topic of discussion this week around whether he would or wouldn't play. He was dealing with a couple injuries, I think, a bit of wear and tear as well as another leg injury. I think was it a leg or finger? Damn, I can't remember now. Had it on my mind all day and then I forgot about it now. But yeah, they did. Matt Crouch wasn't named for the VFL team, but SA NFL Sandfell. He wasn't named, so people were like, "Oh, he's in for Laird." Didn't end up being the case. So, and he didn't even get subbed off anyway. So it's good. Saves his cash gen and everything. I just realised these look a lot more blue on video, but they are black. I can assure you they are black. Yeah, this is an Arsenal kit, by the way. It looks sweet. Yeah, Tom Green. Tom Green was good. He kind of needed this game because some people had traded him, and I was saying that was a terrible trade if you did trade him. It was 2 weeks, so you could have just not fielded him. You definitely have enough premiums in the team to get around it. Yeah, so needed this. This was probably another reason why I was able to jump. Probably people's overly aggressive trading in the beginning, so in the top ranks, which I think aggressive trading is working this year. I'm already down to 21, and boost is activated, but we've got 2 boosts left. I think aggressive trading is working because the amount of extra trades we had. So 36 already, that's 6 extra trades. Maybe those 6 will be you'll see more evidence of how big those 6 extra trades were at the end of the year when you have a couple of trades left over for injuries and stuff like that in the finals. Yeah, so I just think trading Tom Green was a bit over aggressive. You didn't need to go that far with it. Rosie stepped down from the weeks previous, so that was kind of a step back. But Port as a team looked pretty good. It was just they couldn't really get any Supercoach points. If you look at that game, all the points are on St Kilda's side, even though for I feel like the whole second half, Port were just had all the momentum. Saints would make a push, but you were like, okay, Port's winning this. Um, yeah, it's just Port. Port are one of those teams. They don't get many Supercoach points. They don't play a very Supercoach friendly way, which I guess that is kind of a negative to Rosie and Butters for that matter. So yeah, something to look at. But honestly, everyone has Rosie, and he's going to be a top six forward, so it doesn't really matter. Will Day was the trade in 97. Probably could have gone a bit bigger, but again, Hawks just they're not a good team. So the Dogs did kind of just stack it up a bit against them. Should do a bit better this week. Like I said, at Optus, it's a bit more of an open ground. So I'd imagine he tons up this week. The mid defense, DPP is also massive. I do like seeing that. So against Freo gave up the highest score against midfielders. Good to know. I wonder if that means anything for trade-ins or anything like that. I don't think so. Hopper was a step back, honestly. I think it's also his time to get traded as well. He's done all right for the team. Maybe you could keep him. I mean, he's averaging 90. That's not too bad. You could probably hold him to the buys, could you? Break even of 90 this week. That's his average. Against West Coast, he should be able to ton against West Coast. They're pretty bad. Speaking from watching them. Then Geelong's the tough one. So you probably got one more week of Hopper, then it's time to trade him on. Setterfield, he's gone this week. They're starting to play around with his role a little bit. Not really what you want to see. If you've got Setterfield, you want him to play in that middle all the time. Get the CBAs and just be a ball magnet. He was that for a couple of rounds early, and that's what helped with the cash gen from him. But it's Brad Scott. If your surname's Scott, you're definitely doing something. Trying to be funny with where you play players. Ashcroft was, oh my god, that goal. That's definitely goal of the year. Karate kick out of midair and on the angle as well. I think I could have 100 attempts at that, and I wouldn't even get close once. So he's a star. Probably someone we can keep for a while. What is his break even? 32. It's easy for him to hit. He's going to hit that in his sleep. Against Carlton as well, super easy. On the bench, we've got Edwards, Johnson, Ralston. Now, I don't think I've ever had a rookie bench so bad in all of Supercoach. The whole time I've played, I don't think my rookie, the bench has ever been this bad. Stock has been good. Seamus Mitchell would have been fine if he didn't get subbed off. I think he would have entered in the 50s, which, whatever. Edwards, not good. Terrible last week. Not amazing this week. I reckon he did get kind of screwed because West Coast lost by so much, but West Coast are going to lose most of their games, if not all of them, so it's not really something you can use to defend him. Johnson dropped so many easy marks, just bouncing off his chest and off his hands and everything, so, and his 2-week suspension, so can't trade him, just use him as a loop. From then, Ralston. I regret trading in Ralston so much. He's going to go down back to what his price was. I imagine he's just their sub from now on. He plays multiple roles. He can play as a forward, can play as a midfielder. He'll struggle in defence, but you just move someone else back there. My God, he's so bad. So, yeah, this is a huge L, and it gets worse when you think of, like, that week. I probably could have gone Kate Chandler. Would have been a week early. I can't remember exactly what round it was, but I think it was a week early on Chandler, and it would have paid off. Yeah. Alright, so the rucks. Darcy was pretty good from, kind of just watching. He looked like he was dominating around the ground. And then, let me explain why it says captain on the first game of the round. So we got to this game started at 7:50, 7:45. I had the team like this, and I was like, I could leave it like this, but I just want to see it on field. It gets to 7:59. I do this, and I'm just like, because I think I also had like this, and I was like, you know what? I think I want to play around here. I want Stocker on the bench. So I'm setting all this up, thinking to myself, who do I want on the bench here and here? Without even realising, I've left the captaincy on Marshall. The game started. I was like, oh no. I saw the first quarter. He's on like 14. Oh no, here we go. We're back down to the 20,000s in rank. Little did I know, Rowan Marshall saved my weekend. So that was great. 159. The second, third, fourth quarter, he was massive. I think he had like a 60-point second quarter. It feels like he also could have gone bigger as well if he just was a little bit more accurate with the kicking. And just one thing I hate. If a ruckman taps it out in the direction of his teammate, they fumble the ball. Like, it's a perfect tip out, and it's in their lap, and they fumble the ball, drop it, and the other team gets it. It should still be points for the ruckman that tapped it to him. It shouldn't go against him. It's not. He didn't tap it to the other team. He tapped it to his team. They just fumbled it. That was throwing Marshall's score a fair bit in the first quarter. I don't know. It's just a Supercoach thing, I guess. Taranto was massive. I didn't get to see much of this game, but from the little bits I did see, he looked on fire. For what did I get him? What price did he start at? 500k. He's playing like a 600k player, so it's a great starting pick. Easily F1 at the moment. Going into the season, I could have sworn it was going to be Dunkley by a long shot. I thought Dunkley was going to hit like 650k. Just it hasn't happened. He still hasn't really had like a 150 game or something like that. He's had the 133, but even that was like, it was against North of all teams. Speaking on Dunkley, 109. Brisbane dominated Freo, and it just became everyone was resting because Freo were just terrible. Cogs 108. It's good for him. Keeps the average up and everything. That's really all you're expecting. You're expecting around about 100 to 110, anywhere in there for the week. Sheasel playing defence, so the whole Hall's in. So now Sheasel's a forward thing. Not really the case. So Sheasel should be fine for the rest of the year. Maybe it is time for him to have a rest game. He did look a little bit slow out there. Could see a rest up game coming soon. But North have looked so bad, they need to show something. Or else the fans are going to start turning on him. Yeah, I'm around fans of all teams. Eventually they're going to turn on Clarko and say that he's not doing enough. So maybe he can't get a rest game till they get a win. Fergus Green just sprinted into a post, so that's killed his score. He was probably concussed the rest of the game. Samson Ryan was great to kind of salvage this score, to be honest. I saw him on like 28 at halftime or something like that, so yeah, to salvage to 71, I'll take it. Combin, just poor luck for the kid. Keeps getting hurt, and it's always his legs that get injured from what I've read. On the weekend, if you didn't see it, I wouldn't suggest going to look at it. Completely snapped ankle. Like, it was either ankle or lower leg. I think on the broadcast they were saying ankle. Just, yeah. If I say snapped, you know what I mean. So, wasn't good to see. Obviously, he's a trade, but I don't think I'm going to be trading him this week. Just because he can't drop in cash. Not playing doesn't make you drop. It's when you do play and you score bad that you drop. And then Davey got dropped. So this is an interesting one because he he looked like his job was pretty secure. Then he got the rest game. Then it was Anzac Day. He didn't look amazing. Now he's been left out of this week's team. Interesting to see if he comes back in against Port. Like, maybe he does. Maybe he's just a matchup guy, depending on the matchup. Against Brisbane, I imagine he plays. Just because he lines up better against their team. Yeah, maybe he's going to become a matchup guy that they just kind of utilize him when the matchups seem fit. I don't know, that's not good if that's the case, because his cash gen will suck if he misses most games. As for trades, we'll just go into it pretty quickly. Already been here 20 minutes. Didn't feel that long, but I guess I start rambling and I don't stop. So number 1, Chin Cotter. I've seen people pronounce it Sin Cotter, like almost like there's an S at the front. He's Italian. I think he's Italian. Or he's Wog of some kind. You pronounce it like there's almost a H in there. Chin Cotter. That's him. Setterfield has to go. And this is kind of the question for me this week. What do I do here? I could just go... I'm not going Oliver. Oliver's break-even's a bit too high for me. I think that he's going to drop it a little bit more. 140 against Gold Coast. It's average of 130 against Gold Coast in 8 games. That's pretty good. I swear they used to have like average at venue along here. Interesting. I'll think about it, but originally I was going to go with Neil. Then I saw he has a 160 break even. I'm going to skip on him. McRae plays for a bad coach. Cripps just not buying it this year. 54 break even. He's going to make money, but I mean, last 2 scores are good. Both are with Walsh in the team. Like, this is inflated because it's West Coast, but say it was a 123, that's still pretty good. Brisbane. I don't really buy it against Brisbane. Yeah, this run of games isn't amazing. Like, Dogs probably alright, Collingwood's alright, Sydney's not good, Melbourne's not good, Essendon's okay. Probably after Melbourne it opens up, then I'll think about it, but not right now. Sarong has had a really good start to the season, but I think at 6.15 it's kind of overs on him. Petrarca is good. Probably wanted him last week though. Last week would have been 5.70. 5.76. Good run of games for Melbourne though, and he should get forward DVP at some point. So maybe Petrarca's the way to go. Under 600 should make money still. What is his break even? 71. Yeah, he's still to make money. I talked about McRae. Dangerfields. Do not get sucked into Dangerfield. He played 64% time on ground. Do not pick him. Noah Anderson is very intriguing. With no Took for a while, I want to see his like centre bounce stats and stuff like that. Oof, that's a lot of touches. 32 touches, 5 tackles. That is above average for him. A goal, it's probably... Alright, so say this really should be about 115 to 120. You still take that, don't you? At 550k. Alright, I'm just kind of... Again, I'm rambling on. Let me just find someone. You know who I was actually going to go with? Steele. Jackson Steele. So Steele was in heaps of preseason teams. He's looked good since coming back from the injury. 126 break even against North is so hittable. What do they actually have him at? Sometimes they do this like percentage thing. 22% hitter. Why is that? What's his... Averaging its north is 113. He'll be fine. If at most he's going to drop like 10k. So yeah, that's what I'm doing for this week. Let me know what you guys are doing. I think Chincott is a must bring in, just at his because basement price. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Tasty out.